Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the T&T Podcast. As always, it's your boy Tyler Layfield, and he's back. Torres Finney, how's it going, man?
What's up, baby? What's going on, Tyler? I'm sorry, y'all. I am trying to get this phone correctly, and it has been an absolute problem. But we're here, baby. Let's do it.
You're here, and where are you exactly right now again?
I'm currently here in Las Vegas, La Vegas. A little bit more active with the camera, but y'all can see I'm in a little spot here. Look, it's a condo. It's not a Playboy condo, but it is a condo.
Don't let the pillows confuse you on that one. So yeah, man, we got some stuff to catch up. Last week we were fortunate enough we had Jackson hop on the show. He and I we covered all sorts of stuff. We went through NFL. Shoot, we even got into some NBA with some Hawks stuff, talking about that Karl Anthony Towns trade, yada yada yada. The Lakers starting off pretty good, and then we talked about some college football. So I know you've been itching to get back in it, but you told me first and foremost that you wanted to go ahead. You had an NFL prediction you wanted to hit us with. So we're gonna start off with a bit of a prediction segment here. So go ahead and kick us off here.
Yeah, man. Look, so this is really big. Obviously the NFL season, we're nearly halfway there. It's exciting. One thing, my Steelers, we're kicking tail, and I'm loving what we're doing. So hey, we're 6-2 now. We're on the heavy part of our schedule that's coming up. So we're going to really see how good this team really is. So and also, I was one of those guys that did doubt Mike Tomlin at the beginning about switching him for Russell Wilson, for Justin Fields, but switching Wilson in for Fields. But obviously, the paid off, and Wilson has looked really, really good. So I'm not going to deny that. But we're going to see how good that switch is. I mean, heck, he is the better quarterback, let's be honest. But we're playing some tough teams coming up, so we're going to really see it. But my NFL prediction, I'm not going fully all the way in, but I'm going to say this. If the Chiefs can beat the Bills 2 weeks on the road, the Chiefs are going undefeated for the regular NFL regular season.
Could be right.
They play my Pittsburgh Steelers on week 16, I believe, on Christmas Day. Look, it'll be awesome to see the Steelers beat. Don't get me wrong. It'll be awesome. And I feel like coming into Pittsburgh is going to be mighty hard, But, man, if you just look at the rest of the Kansas City Chiefs schedule, I mean, if there's a way you could definitely pull it up, Tyler. But, like, obviously this Monday
I got you right here.
Buccaneers. I think
Buccaneers tomorrow.
they play the Raiders, correct?
Then it's Denver. That is in Kansas City though, so that makes a bit of a difference there.
That's right.
Then at Buffalo the next week.
That's gonna be the hard one. If they get bite out, look at the rest of that schedule, Tyler. You tell me. Look at the rest.
You got so after that one, yeah, you got some couple of easy ones, couple gimmies. Well, at least what should be gimmies if you're not the Saints, right? At Carolina. Then you got Las Vegas again. They took care of business just last week against them, so should be a win there. You do got the Chargers in Week 14. That isn't totally a pushover.
But they come to Kansas City.
And they do have to come to Kansas City. You're correct, but Chargers actually haven't been looking bad, man. They actually been looking okay.
They have.
Then you got Cleveland, and if you told me before today about Cleveland, because last week's, I guess whatever you wanted to pretend act they did against the Ravens that looked so good, because then it fell apart today. But then you got Houston. Houston will be a little bit more. I think they'll be a little better. Then they'll have Nico Collins back. If Stroud starts to do better, the defense ain't too bad. That could be a little bit of a hurt. Something they could run into there. And then, like you said, at Pittsburgh and at Denver to end the year off. So 2 tough away games to end things off, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I said after the Buffalo game.
Yeah,
I feel like the percentage of them going undefeated is that much higher. Right now. You got to have it around less than 50 because, nobody in history. Well, we've had 2 teams do it, but to do it all the way to the Super Bowl is different.
All the way to Super Bowl, yeah. The Dolphins and the Patriots, right?
Yeah, Dolphins completed it, but the
Patriots lost in the Super Bowl.
But if there's a team that has a great chance at doing it, because I've already heard, I've given this prediction to some people, and they've already said it. I don't think Andy Reid's going to go for that record. He's going to get the number 1 seed and chill out.
Wouldn't you?
And I'm like, well, hold up now. Think about it like this. You're the only team that get a bye in your conference. So it's not like 2 teams. But if you have the number 1 seed on the top, I understand. But a shot at history, you get a week off. It has been shown on multiple occasions when teams give their players 2 weeks to rest. They don't come back in that divisional game as hot and uh, kicky as
Bless you.
they've been the whole season. Thank you. I've seen it happen with Denver. They had Peyton Manning. They would already have the 1 seed locked in. Don't even play the last week of the season. Then you also get the bye for the first week of a wild card. They come back at divisional. They're down 14-0 to start of the game. You're like,
Yeah.
what are we doing? Like, I've seen this happen to multiple.
You see it in different sports too. I mean, we saw it a couple years ago with the Braves, right? Braves had a great season, and then they get that little time off, and all of a sudden they just lost every bit of momentum they had going into it.
That's right. That's why you want to stay as active as possible. That's a real thing. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I guess the NFL prediction for me, I was telling Torres this, and we can get into another one here after this, but prediction, and it's not crazy. I feel like this isn't any stretch here by any means, but Jaden Daniels for rookie of the year. Jaden Daniels for rookie of the year. Man, I've been having this dude. I picked him up in fantasy this year. I told Torres, if there's an NFL team that I'm behind, man, it is the Washington Commanders. I love what the team has done. To me, they're doing more with less. Like the caliber of players they got, they shouldn't be winning the games they should, or that they have been, better yet. But here they are, that they're kicking butt. Man, the freaking game last week was just ridiculous. The Hail Mary, I lost it on that one, man. That was crazy. But he's looked great, man. The guy's looked awesome. Outside of the game that he got hurt, I hate that. That sucked. But literally came back the next week, was fine. Came back this week, was fine. He's throwing it well. He's running it well. He's making good decisions. They talk about him. His teammates talk about how early he's there before anybody else, already going ahead and prepping. Like the dude, he sounds like the perfect guy you'd like to have leading your franchise. And I really think he's going to win that. And I mean, this would be the crazier thing. And I don't know if I'm willing to go this far, but I would not be shocked if this dude is in the thick of it, at least top three by the end of it. But for MVP, I think he can really make a case. I think he can make a run at it.
Well, I would say top three is going to be mighty hard, but you could definitely maybe start putting him in the case. I mean, look who you got. You got Josh Allen. You got Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
You can also make a case for a guy like Derrick Henry. So you
right now, your top five, according to Vegas, you got Lamar Jackson, then you got Josh Allen, then you got Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff, and then Jaden Daniels. That's what it's looking like.
I forgot about
Goff hasn't been bad. Mahomes. I think there's going to be a little bit of this. This sentiment. This year where people are kind of tired of Mahomes. He actually hasn't put up crazy. Like the numbers really ain't crazy, but they're winning games. So I mean,
interceptions isn't good.
I don't think he should be that high up, in my opinion. That's just me. But Jared Goff has had some games this year where it's just wow. Like the guy's been extremely efficient. They've been winning a lot of games. But then again, to me, the numbers don't all the way, match what you would put for an MVP. To me, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, I think you're for sure there. I think Jaden Daniels can get to three, man. I really do. They're winning the games. He's putting up the numbers. I think he's pretty good. But right now, Lamar, I would give the edge to. I definitely would. And Josh Allen's been carrying too.
Josh Allen, man. Josh Allen currently has 17 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, over 2,000 yards. No telling how many rushing touchdowns he's currently having.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Josh Allen have those little off games where I don't want to say Lamar has had it, but I've seen Lamar have those off moments. And I don't think I've seen that from Josh this year. And Josh looks really good. Now, at the end of the day, the reason why Mahomes is going to be at number 3 because Mahomes is like, and I don't care what you say, he's like the LeBron James of the NBA. Guess what? No matter what goes on, he's going to always be in the thick of things because of what he has done previously in his career. And as rightfully so. I mean, how can a guy like Mahomes necessarily, he shouldn't be. 8 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. You should not be in the MVP conversation. But they always expect it. Well, it is Mahomes. He's probably going to turn it around. Especially, look, we just talked about the second half of their schedule stretch. If you want to turn it around, those are the teams you surely turn it around against. So that is, I definitely think they got the first two definitely right. I don't think Mahomes should be top five, but
Mm-hmm.
it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, yeah. Any other predictions you got here?
No, not for NFL, man. I'm excited, man. I cannot wait, dude. I cannot wait because these next few weeks, especially for me as a Steelers fan, I'm really pumped. So
Oh
I'm ready.
yeah, it's been a fun season so far. Yeah, it really has been. So that'll swing us over to college football playoff rankings ideas. So this Tuesday, the playoff committee will be releasing their college football playoff rankings, and the way they've looked. So the way things have been going, we know there's a ton of parity in college football this year. And the way that they're running this year, obviously, we know that they've come out and they've increased the numbers as far as who can make it in. So let's see your college football rankings. I want to say criteria, like how does it go this year? Because I know you and I were sitting here. They rank the teams based on the members' evaluation of the team's their performance on the field using conference championships won, strengths of schedule, head-to-head results, and comparison of results against common opponents to decide among teams that are comparable. So I'm trying to remember. I mean, you and I were talking about it. We were pretty sure the way they're doing it this year with the 12-team playoff that the four highest ranked conference championships will be seeded 1 through 4. So right now, the way you and I were discussing this, that would be SEC, ACC, Big Ten, and Big 12 because the Pac-12, unbeknownst to Torres and I, is down to 2 teams. That's how much we've been paying attention to Pac-12. They got 2 teams, Oregon State and Washington State. So I thought that's out of it. I don't think you're going to be seeing any AAC, any Conference USA, anything like that making their ways into those top 4. I do think that's pretty locked in that you're going to see those 4 conference champions locked into the top 4. Then teams seeded 5 through 12 will play each other in the first round. And basically that's kind of like a hodgepodge of, who they really deem as, the remaining teams that should be in the mix. So, with Tuesday coming around the corner, if you were to make your predictions today, if you were to make your picks today, who would you have making the college football playoff? At least in the top 4. Let's go top 4 first,
Well,
and rank them 1 through 4.
I gotta have Oregon. Look, I've said
They've earned that.
I've already said this. Well, I haven't been on the show a minute, but I've been saying this a lot to a lot of people. I don't think there is a necessary team that is head and shoulders above. But Oregon is definitely number 1.
They should be.
I don't think Oregon is that much better than a team like, again, Ohio State, as we saw the game, lost by 1 point. I don't think they're that much better than a team like Georgia, even though Georgia has been looking shaky multiple weeks, or even a team like Texas. But like I said, they have won the games that they necessarily needed to win, and they've winning them in some of them in dominant fashion, not all of them, because you got to remember at the beginning of the season they struggled with who? Was it Idaho, or I know they struggled with Boise State, but granted we see how good Boise is, and there was another team they struggled with. So it's not like Oregon has just ran shop necessarily on everybody that they should be running shop on. And my number 2 is Miami.
Okay.
I absolutely dislike Miami. I do not think Miami is anything. They are the front runners of the front runners. Those boys have no defense. Cam Ward is an incredible player. He's going to be a Heisman finalist. He's going to be one of the best players coming out of the draft next year. But his team sucks. I'm sorry. Miami is not good to me. I don't care what nobody says.
I don't know if I'd say the team sucks.
I do.
So far, I'm in lockstep with you as far as the first 2. But what were you saying?
I think Boise State beats them team. I think Boise State beats Miami. But that's just me. I hope they play. But that's just me.
The disrespect.
I don't think it's disrespectful. Boise State's a really good football team. Number 3, got the Dogs, baby. I got them at number 3. Georgia. There's a lot of things that can be said about Georgia. Good Lord, man. Boy,
if we're going to trash Miami, you better be prepared to trash Georgia a little bit.
Oh, bro. Hey, the stuff that I was saying yesterday watching games with my cousins and friends about how I was playing, I was losing my mind. Bro, I was already accepting. I didn't think we were going to lose. I said we'll like to play trash first half. We'll come back good second half. But I said if we lost, we deserve it. We don't even deserve to make the playoffs. I said we absolutely suck, and it's not so much because of like the overall team because the defense actually played pretty good yesterday. But you can't keep giving the offense short field and, like you say, 3 interceptions, turning the ball over constantly, giving them like multiple opportunities like that because it makes it harder on your defense. But regardless, let's talk about the good of Georgia. Georgia got a really good defense. They have a solid running game. Receivers are okay. Receivers, they drop the ball in very inopportune times.
Yeah.
But they're okay. Quarterback.
Yeah. Frustrating quarterback.
Frustrating. But hey, they're the number 3 team because when everything gels together, as we saw them going on the road in Texas, as we saw the second half against Alabama, they can make it work. And they can definitely be one of the top teams in the country. That's what makes it frustrating. They don't play it like that consistently.
Yeah.
And then number 4, I got to go with BYU.
Got to.
BYU is the number 1 team in the Big 12. Granted, they got some teams right there on their tail, but they are the best team. They've been winning a lot of games dominantly. I feel like they're going to win out. That Big 12 championship, whoever they play is going to be really interesting. Hopefully, it's Colorado because that would be epic. A lot of eyes going to be on that, but we have to see. We have to see. But right now, BYU is definitely the number 1 team in the Big 12 and the number 4 team in my bracket.
Yeah, I'm right there with you the whole way. The way you just laid it out. Yeah, Oregon, Miami, Georgia, and BYU. The one that I've seen flip a little bit is the Georgia Miami, but I'm not really ready to do that yet. Miami does have an undefeated record. That they have. Regardless of how pretty it's been. Because if you want to sit here and nitpick every team, Georgia's had those wins that look terrible. Miami's had the same thing where literally they've come. Who was it? Virginia Tech. They barely won against where it was debated whether it was a catch or not at the end. Then you had another game. I can't remember. They had to,
California.
Yeah, California. Yeah, it hasn't been all roses for them, but they've been pulling out the wins that a team that is set to make a championship run should win. Like these are the games that really make you a championship caliber team, in my opinion. You're able to win them, but go ahead. But it's just something that makes you you pulling out those close wins that makes you better in the end. And let me see here. The other teams, Oregon's looked really good since I've seen.
I want to say this real quickly.
Go ahead.
The team to do you remember this? The 2014 Florida State team. You remember those boys?
Yeah, so, that was the Florida State that played Auburn?
No, that's 13. 14.
14.
Year that Oregon.
Francois. Or was that still Jameis?
No, that was Jameis.
It was still Jameis, okay.
That was Jameis, when they lost in the playoffs to the Oregon.
And he slipped and fell.
Yeah, when they slipped and fell. Do you remember that season for Florida State? Florida State that season were playing similar games to like Miami.
True.
Absolutely trash. And then either come back, last second field goals to the worst teams in the competition, all the way till they made it to the playoffs until they finally played their first true team. And Oregon beat them like they didn't even deserve to even be in the playoffs.
Yeah, beat them senseless. And it could happen to them. It could.
It does. I really do feel like that's going to be the same.
But who do you think is a better college quarterback right now at their peak of their powers? Jameis or golly, what's his name is slipping me all of a sudden. Golly, guy from Miami.
Cam Ward.
Why is it slipping my mind? But yeah, who do you think is better at the peak of their powers, college wise?
Better at the peak of their power.
Because it was debatable whether Jameis, Mariota, there was a, at that time, I can't remember who else was in the mix that year. Was RG3 still at Baylor? I don't know. That's also around the time Manziel was at A&M, I think. There was there's a bit of a debate. This year, is it really a debate at who is the best quarterback? Because that's something that Jackson brought up on the show last week. He said the one thing about Miami that I can guarantee you is that they're going to have the best quarterback in any game in the college football playoff. Is he correct in that?
Yes,
because
he
he's
is.
pretty doggone good. The kid is awesome.
Yes,
You got to give him that. He is talented.
I mean, who else is in the conversation for Heisman? I see Dylan Gabriel's the favorite
Dylan Gabriel, is he the favorite? I'll have to
yeah,
look. I'm looking that up right now.
right
Yeah,
now.
I
He's
mean,
the favorite for some God-given reason, but it's understandable because he's on the number one ranked team.
it's true. This is true. Uh, from what I'm seeing right here, Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, then you got Dylan Gabriel. Then
Oh
it's
wow.
Ashton Genty.
Well, I think maybe I saw something on a broadcast yesterday that showed the
And
odds.
I can agree with that. I can
So
agree with those three. And then, well, really those four. I think Genty, there's something mixed there, but that's only another,
see
that's another conversation.
I love the Jets. I love Jets. Don't get me wrong.
Genty's
And I
freaking
think
awesome.
he got a great case. But like, I'm sorry. If Hunter don't win it, I don't care. They should throw it in the trash. Because this man is
Hunter's
playing
awesome too.
really good football on both sides of the ball. And they're winning games. It's not like last year where they were losing games and he was playing this good. They're winning games and they're winning it because of him. But one of the reasons why they lost those games last year is because he was hurt. So I just feel like Travis Hunter should have a really good edge on winning the Heisman over these other guys. I really do.
Yeah.
But Cam Ward would be the best quarterback if they played any team. He would be the best quarterback out of anybody in the playoffs.
Yeah. So that go ahead.
Colorado makes. I actually think Shadur Sanders is better than him.
You and Kobe love y'all some Colorado. That's one thing y'all do share in common. And he is good. He is good.
I've watched both, and I feel like Shadur is definitely better. It's not, and it's not like again, it's not like oh my gosh, it's that obvious. It's some small things that I feel like Shadur does a little bit better than Cam. Now Shadur's flaw is he holds the ball strong. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
But Cam Ward, I don't know, man. This is probably me and my Miami bias right now. I just don't like that football team.
Yeah, there's an obvious love for Colorado with you, and there's an obvious hate for Miami with you as well. So that they're fighting right now. These two egos you got right now, would you? Yeah, you mentioned about Georgia. Just frustrating. The defense, you can trust them to do so much. You can't really trust the offense to do anything. The silver lining is you have won the last two SEC games, Texas and Florida. both are, you knew you were going to get some fight from the other team at some point or another, regardless of things, and we can get into that here in a minute too. But beat both of them by double digits, with Carson Beck throwing 3 interceptions, I think, in both of them, if I'm not mistaken, right? So if he can just clean up the interceptions, can you imagine what this team can do? That's one thing I've seen. It's just, I think I'm at the point with this offense. I just I'm done believing in it, man. Like I'm done with it. The little quick outs to the flats, like the little screen game, and I do realize it worked the one time for the touchdown, but that crap gets on my nerves. And he's just making terrible decisions at this moment. I think we're going to really have to dumb this offense down in order for this thing to work with Carson Beck. And I hate saying that because I thought this would be better than this year. I thought he would have matured more. I thought he would have gotten better. I thought we'd be seeing a better Carson Beck than what we've been seeing. And it just has not happened. I don't know. We're running Monken's offense without the Monken weapons. And it just does not look good. It's not good. You're going to have to simplify this. You're going to have to dumb this thing down. And you saw it for a minute there. We did the 2 end arounds on that one drive, and they worked great. You gave him some easy little pitch and catches. You made it real simple for him. That's what you're going to have to do the entire game. If you're making this guy make these complex decisions and these complex reads, I just don't think it works. I do trust the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, it's Kirby. He'll get it right. And then BYU's just been a good team this year. So I have to agree with you on that. So then that brings us to the 5 through 12. And the teams that are in the mix here, I'll just read out some that I've been seeing. Indiana, Texas,
all right,
Army, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Tennessee, Penn State, of course, and Pitt. I'm trying to see if there's any other. Boise State, SMU. Those are 2 other ones I've seen. Alabama. And that's pretty much the extent of what I'm seeing here. If you had to go, let's just go 5 through 12. So let's go five through eight first.
All right.
5 through 8. Who would you have at 5 through 8?
So 5 through 8, I'm dealing with. You're probably gonna have to have one of those G5 conference champions, right?
In the mix somewhere, yes.
Clearly have to be five. But I'm gonna
A lot
go.
of the time, I'm going to be honest with you, from what I'm seeing in a lot of these that I've looked up, they've had the second place in the Big Ten. They've had Ohio State or Indiana at that 5 spot.
I can see that. I can see Ohio. I mean, look at Ohio State's schedule, man. I mean, they've played a Penn State on the road. Now, granted, we might not think much of Penn State, but hey, they played a Penn State on the road. They lost to the
Yeah.
number one in the country. As somebody stated yesterday, that's the best loss in the country. You lose to the number one ranked team by 1 point on the road. That's the best
Yeah.
loss in the country. Then you if you finish out, you win the rest of your games. They beat a few ranked teams. If they beat a team like Indiana, that'll be huge for them.
This is Penn State you're talking about?
No, this is Ohio State.
Ohio State. Okay, my bad.
So Ohio State would be right there, number 5. Yeah, I could have them at number 5. Number 6 would be Notre Dame. If Notre Dame wins out, I know this sounds crazy.
Yep. No. That's possible. Like that's one that's in the mix for people.
Number 7, I probably would go. It really just depends. I mean, I can't be taking out the. I gotta put a Boise State like number 7, man. If they're undefeated,
I'll just tell you this right now: Boise State is 12 in one of these, 10 in one of these, and totally left off on one of these.
that can't be possible. That's just not. I gotta.
The one that it was left out on, that's one of your more amateur ones that I've seen.
Yeah, well, I gotta see how the committee does this then, because there's no way you gotta leave a team like Boise State out of it.
They're not going to leave them off. That was some guy that just made that one. But the two ones that Boise State are on, they've been at 10 and 12. And this is one of these was made by On3, pretty vetted, site. And then the other one was a guy from CBS, Bud Elliott. And he watches this stuff all the time. I don't know. Maybe he knows something. He had him at 10.
Well then, I forgot one. Texas.
Texas.
I will have Texas probably right there. It's all dependent on how to pick this team out. It's hard, but you gonna somebody's team.
Cutting in and out a little bit. I can't hear you that well.
Hello, you hear me now?
There you go.
You're gonna have some of these teams with 2 or 3 losses, really are.
Yeah.
And I think the more losses just going like Alabama. Alabama gonna come in as if Alabama wins out, they'll come in as really low seed, or even heck LSU. If
Only one of these has Alabama in out of the two, vetted ones, and they had Alabama as the 11.
That's what I'm saying, a low seed.
Yeah.
That's me. You have to, because they're gonna have a lot of. 2 losses. If if LSU beats them, LSU will have come in as a low seed. Like
They could.
Doing it, or Tennessee. Look at Tennessee. Let's say
Tennessee,
Georgia. Then you have to look at some of these teams in the odds of the SEC. Is it better not to go to the conference championship and get that other loss? Look at a team like Texas A&M. Let's just say Texas A&M wins out. All right, they win out. They make it to the SEC championship game. They play Georgia. They lose. That's 3 losses. Only 2 in the conference, but 3 overall.
Yeah. You don't know how the committee would look at that.
There we go. That's what I'm saying.
You're right.
3-loss team right there in the mix. It gets really interesting depending on how these teams finish out the season.
Yeah, so, I agree with you. So that's 5 you had Ohio State, 6 you had Notre Dame, 7 you had Texas. Is that what you said?
I'm gonna go 7 Texas. Yeah, I'm gonna go 7 Texas, 8 Boise.
All right, stop right there. All right, so I'll go 5 Ohio State. I'll go 6. Golly, yeah, I still don't want to give Notre Dame that clout. And I do think you might be right. Because you know how it happens. We talk about this every year. Them and Penn State. Yeah, it's just always a given. Death taxes and those two teams being overrated annually. I'll go Ohio State 5. I'll go 6. Who does Texas play the rest of this year? Who?
Texas got Florida. They got New
That's
Mexico.
right.
They got one more give me team. I feel like, and then they got to play Texas.
Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, and A&M. If
Yeah.
they went out there, I have them at 6. 7. We talked about them before, but the intriguing team here for me is Indiana. Indiana has looked really good this year. They've been that surprise team for me. I did not expect this much success in this year from them that I've seen. And what are they right now? They are what? Are they undefeated at the moment?
Yeah, Indiana's undefeated.
That's crazy. God,
If they're only lost Ohio State, they're going in.
they got Michigan, then they got Ohio State. Yeah, like I feel like you gotta. Yeah, give me them at 7 and 8.
They're going to be one of those teams, Tyler, that's going to favor off of not playing in the conference
They
championship.
will. Yeah, if they lose, they're going to try to win that one. I mean, obviously, they're going to try to win, and they, for all I know, they could beat them. I don't know. Ohio State doesn't look bulletproof. They could win it, but you're right. If they lose that one, they could benefit from that, sure enough. And if it's a close loss, at that, like that would look good. And then let me go 8. How's SMU? SMU. How many losses does SMU have this
SMU
year?
is they got one loss.
Who was that to?
I don't know. They did just beat the undefeated Pittsburgh, but I don't know who that one loss was to. You got to look that up. I don't know who that one loss.
I'm looking it up now. Let's see here. SMU. They did just come off a big win against Pittsburgh, like you said. Their one loss was BYU. So I mean, turns out that's a pretty big. That's a pretty big win, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me them. Give me them at 8. That's why I would go. They've actually looked pretty good. That's why I would go. My 5, Ohio State. 6, Texas. 7, Indiana. 8, SMU. All right. What's your 9 through 12?
So 9 through 12 is some of the teams you brought up, obviously.
Okay.
9 is going to be Penn State.
Okay.
It wins out. I mean, just look at their schedule. They don't really play nobody. I think they don't even play Michigan this year. So
Okay.
I think they got a little bit of a favorable schedule. Next, give me. I didn't think about that. Like with Indiana's schedule, they only lose to Ohio State.
You haven't put them on yours yet, so I mean.
Yeah, give me Indiana.
Okay.
That's how many Big Ten teams? That's gonna be 4 Big Ten teams.
That's a lot. Yeah, but it's that tight.
That's when the ACC. Well, then you got SMU. Wait a minute. Oh well, Clemson lost. I was about to say Clemson, but Clemson lost. So that hurts them. It really does. But then let's just say SMU only loses to Miami. They'll be in. I would feel like a 1 loss.
Who you say SMU?
Yeah.
Well, remember they've already lost to BYU, so if they lose to Miami,
That's right. I'm thinking some. Okay,
that's
right.
2 losses now.
Losses. That'll be 2 losses. But that will be their first loss in the conference. But
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Yeah, SMU. Yeah, then SMU. Yeah, that'll be
Okay. So that's 11, right, for you? So you had 9. Who'd you say 9 was again? Penn State. 10 was
Indiana.
11 SMU. Who would your 12th be?
Dag nabbit, I only got 2 SEC teams in.
That's crazy, ain't it?
Wow. Because I had Georgia and Texas.
I mean, I throw in Tennessee.
I feel like you got to throw in. I don't know, man.
If Tennessee loses to Georgia, LSU beats Bama, that's their 3rd. And we'll get into those picks in a little bit, but you got to go with Tennessee, I feel like.
How about over LSU when that only loss was to
LSU had USC. That isn't a great loss now.
loss? You're right.
That's not a great loss at all.
But Tennessee losing to Arkansas isn't a good one either.
That isn't a good one either. You're correct.
Canceled out each other out. So, and then they did lose to LSU. Lost to A&M. Ooh,
Yes.
And then Tennessee loses to Georgia. I don't know.
Depends on how. I mean, Depends on how bad they lose and stuff like that.
That's all that matters. And I'm gonna throw it out there because I'm picking them this week. I got LSU, so I'm give me LSU that last seed.
It's interesting. That's interesting. I'll
More.
go 9. I'll go 9 Penn State, 10 Notre Dame, 11
You gonna
Boise
put a
State.
dang team at number 10?
Yeah, I don't respect them.
I know you don't,
I
but
don't respect them.
they've beaten a lot of teams, man.
They have. They also. Who was the team they lost to?
Northern.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? That's a big mark. That's a big mark. That's a big doo doo stain on that schedule right now. like that. That is a like that. That one shows bad. That one reeks, man. That one smells bad from miles away. So 9-10. My two favorite teams, everybody, Notre Dame and Penn State. Penn State, then Notre Dame, better yet. Then I'll go Boise State. I would love to go LSU like you, but the way I got it running, because they would, if they win out, if LSU wins out, they will have lost to USC and who else you said?
Texas
A&M.
A&M.
And if they win out the rest, which is, it could happen. God, yeah, you're right. LSU. I'll go with them as that 12th.
Yeah, because then you look and you're like,
It's kind of fun.
if they went out, but they'll favor off of not playing in the SEC championship game.
They will.
To a team like Alabama, if Alabama wins out, they will favor off of not playing in the conference championship. They don't have to play in it. That helps them.
You're correct. There are a lot of fans out there that would say, I just want the 5 seed. In fact, I've heard many Georgia fans say, I don't care about winning at all. Give me the 5 seed. I want the 5 seed. The 5 seed's in the best spot. You get to host a game in the first round against the least ranked, out of all of them. You get to host the 12th, and you get to carry that momentum on. You're not taking the weeks off, like you said. You're not going without, playing. So, I definitely agree with you. There is some good stuff there to that. That's what I would have it at. So there's our college football rankings. Now, is that probably going to be right? Probably not. I mean, this Tuesday, I don't think you're going to see LSU on there. I'm going to be honest. I think they're going to have teams like Tennessee in there.
No, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But this is just that one right. That one right there is more of a look ahead kind of pick. So, yeah. All right, so pretty cool. We'll have to see where they go with it. So that means we're moving on to our Week 11 picks. So it's been a minute, Torres. It's been a minute, so let's get back in it. And I don't know if you saw, man, and the pick'ems this week came in second. So that's the highest I've ranked. Kiefer just edged me out.
What? Oh my God!
I think I figured out a little secret sauce to picking these things. I can't reveal my
I got
methods
all of the week, y'all. So I should have. I was like, man, but I am third overall in all of the.
I know you've been picking good.
I've been pretty hot, so
You've been pretty good, man. You really have been.
I've been hot, but doggone it, I'm sick of freaking who's in first place? Doggone is it Jake Wilkins? Is it Jake?
Yeah, Jake's been golly, he's rolling.
7 or 8 pick lead on freak, man. That's a
Yeah,
lot of.
he's been. It's crazy how successful he's been in picks. Like honestly, it's ridiculous. Dude's done soul to soul or something. Yeah.
Hey,
So
he won that little $50.
yeah. However much it is, yeah, he wants that one. So yeah, that'll bring us into our first game, man. Number 4 Miami, Torres' favorite team, as y'all can tell. Number 4 Miami. They're coming in as 13-point road favorites against Georgia Tech in Atlanta this weekend. What you got here, my man?
I'm gonna say this: throughout quarters 1, 2, maybe 3, you're gonna be watching. You're gonna be like, Miami's not gonna cover. But guess what? Like I've seen them do throughout their season, win against certain teams that they don't have to, almost bite their nails off and squeeze their butt, pucker their butts up, throughout.
Yeah, there you go.
They make sure they get Cam Ward extra yards for the Heisman purpose, as we saw last week. That game was already over, but yet they were still throwing deep balls up by 17 in the fourth quarter. Understandable. But Miami's going to make sure that Cam Ward gets those yards, he gets those points, and he tries his best to get that Heisman. Give me Miami to take the spread.
Yeah, you even saw this last weekend. Like they weren't even like it in a span of like 5 minutes. They shot up ahead like 20 or something to cover the spread. So they're one of those teams. They'll pull away in the end. Like you said, they might struggle to begin with, and I really wouldn't be shocked if Georgia Tech made this a physical, gritty game to begin with.
That's
Kept
true.
it pretty close, and then all of a sudden they went away with it. So I agree with you there. I'll take Miami to cover the 13 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Then we move on to unranked Florida, coming off of coming off the loss in Jacksonville to Georgia in their big rivalry game, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. They're going to Texas, number 5 Texas, and Texas is favored by 21.5 here. Before we get into the pick here, Torres, in one of my group chats, I have my buddy Daniel Hall, he's a big Florida fan, and and Kyle Skinner, famous big Bama fan, been a friend of the show. Yeah, so they're in that chat, and I started getting a little sarcastic with them because, Lagway going down, yes, it did hurt Florida,
It did.
but the narrative that's what really nailed it in, or that's the reason they were in that game, I just was not standing for. And yes, he did do good. The couple times they let him throw the ball. I said that in the thing. The 3 times they let him throw the ball or whatever. Yeah, he did pretty good, I guess. He chunked it deep on one where Starks just quit paying attention for some odd reason. He did good. Then he tore his hamstring, it looked like, and he's going to be out a little while. I hate that for him. It is what it is. But that is not the reason they were in that game. The reason they were in that game is because Carson Beck was gifting you the ball 3 different times. And that's why you were in that game. So the whole narrative that if Lagway stayed in, you were going to win, you can play that. If that's what helps you sleep at night, if that's what you got to do to cope, hey, you can tell yourself that all you want. I don't think that was what was going to happen. I really don't. Would they have done a little bit better? I think they might have, they probably would have got some more yards. They would have been in maybe a field goal or so more. I just don't think it was going to be that tight still. I don't know. That's just me. What do you think there?
I'm going to agree with you on that. Yes, Lagway going down. As any time a person goes down, most times they think that their team was still going to win that game. Now, if this game was neck and neck down to the final drive, you probably would have had a case. Was the game still close in the fourth? It was.
It was.
You could probably make a look, but again, now we can't make the excuses on our quarterback to make that many bad plays.
No.
Because Lagway could have capitalized on it.
He could have. Hang on, carry on from where you were at.
I think the way that our defense had been playing, I don't think so. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It just shot out for a second. It kicked you for a minute.
Am I back in? It don't show I'm back in.
Yeah, I see you. I see you.
Oh, well, it don't show.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it just don't show.
Yeah, there you go. You're good. I can see you.
Oh, okay. Well, but yeah, but basically, yeah, I think Georgia definitely has a great chance at not Georgia. I'm sorry. I think Florida probably would have had a chance, but Georgia still would have been able to beat them. But based off this game, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm not too sold on Texas that much. I'm really not, man. So I'm gonna take Florida to not get beat by 3 touchdowns. Florida can at least not get beat. I really don't see them get beat by 3. I don't think now. Wait a minute. Take that back. I gotta remember Lagway is not playing.
He is not playing, and you got to think there's a couple other guys that went down in that game as well.
And Texas just came off a bye.
Yes, correct. This is going to be a blowout.
I have to,
this is going to be murder.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking about. I don't know why. Yeah. Give me Texas, no question.
If Lagway was in, you would make a case for it. I still don't know what to think about the dude. I know his resume coming out of high school was really awesome, but I still don't think he has yet to show that he is a phenom just yet in the college football ranks yet. I mean, does he have the potential? Sure. I would love to have him at Georgia. Like, I'll be the first one to say that. I'd love to have him come in next year, take over for Beck. That'd be great. But I'm not ready to go ahead and jump the gun and start saying all this great stuff about him. All right, so that'll move us on to a Big Ten matchup. Michigan, unranked Michigan, having a struggle of the season, going against Number 8, Indiana at Indiana. Indiana comes in as a 14-point favorite, and gosh darn it, I think they're going to cover that. I'm going to go ahead. This will be the third one in a row that I'm going with the favorites in this matchup in Indiana. Like I told y'all earlier, they've been a big surprise to me. I'm sure they've been a surprise to most people, but they have looked amazing this season. What they built over there, the culture they brought together. I don't know, man. It's something else. And right now, Michigan is on the ropes. They're losing quarterbacks to medical retirements, and like it's getting rough, man. It's getting rough. It's rough. And they're coming off of a rough week this last week. So, yeah, at home, big game. This is a blue blood over there in Michigan. If this guy Signetti, I think is how you pronounce his name, the coach over there. This could be a big one for recruiting. This really could. This could be a real big recruiting win here. If you pull off a big win against Michigan, anytime you can knock off the reigning national champion, that's something you can add to your tool belt later on. So yeah, give me Indiana for sure.
Yeah. So what's the spread again? Because I don't see it at the bottom.
14.
14. Okay. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Indiana. Is Michigan definitely showed me they don't have much left. I watched a little bit of that Oregon game. I was definitely disappointed.
Yeah.
Michigan has been struggling all season, as we have saw. They can't do nothing. They got an okay defense, but your defense lose confidence when you see that your offense has no chance to put points. So, reason why I can say that, because I've been a part of that one time at UTC. We had a top-ranked SoCon defense, and then you just see our offense look like absolute bad garbage.
Yeah.
That don't give no confidence for a defense. Mm-hmm. So, I see the same thing on the Michigan. Give me Indiana.
All right. That'll bring us to number 17, Iowa State. They are traveling to Kansas. They are still favored, even though Iowa State is coming off of a loss themselves. Let's see here. Who did they lose to this past weekend? I know they lost. Let's see here. They lost to Texas Tech at home. Better yet, 23-22. Yeah, this game, I think we see a bounce back from Iowa State, and I'm going to continue to roll with the favorites. I'm going to go Iowa State -3.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Iowa State as well. Iowa State is playing big. Definitely would like for them to lose, obviously, in that favors of Colorado, but Iowa State is going to be still gunning. They're still very much in contention for playing that Big 12 championship game. So I don't see them dropping 2 in a row.
All right. So then we get to number 19, Clemson, coming in as road favorites at 6.5 points against Virginia Tech at Virginia Tech. This is where I think I might stray. This is where I think I might take my first punch at a favorite. I'm going to go Virginia Tech with the 6.5 points. I think they can come in playing playing at home, obviously. What time is this game? Let's take a look and see what time this game is. That'll make a big decision when you hear Enter Sandman coming on. It's a 3:30 game. Nothing crazy. But Virginia Tech, they haven't been looking too bad lately, have they? I mean, they're 5-4, but yeah, they just lost to Syracuse by 7. They beat Georgia Tech 21-6, beat Boston College 42-21. So I mean, and then they hung in with, like we said, Miami. They were down by 4. They only lost by 4 to them. So I think they can bring this one close. Clemson's coming off the loss to Louisville. Yeah. I'll take Virginia Tech.
Yeah. So
with
in
the
that
6.5.
In that one, give me 6.5 for Virginia Tech and Clemson.
So Clemson is favored to win by 6.5, but I'm taking Virginia Tech with the points. So for them to either win or lose by less than a touchdown.
Yeah, give me Clemson, because
Clemson to cover.
Clemson, they had a stinker, man. That was a stinker.
They did,
and I think that was a season ender.
They were throwing trash on the field too. Did you see that?
Oh, I did not see that.
Well, 3 straight weeks. Ohio State threw trash last week. This week, Clemson was throwing trash. There we go. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Texas.
Thanks a lot, Texas. Sorry. I ain't gonna lie. That was a bad game for Clemson last week.
It was.
That was bad. You sold your season away by the way that they played against Louisville. But props to Louisville, because Louisville ran all over them. My friend did tell me in our pick'em thing, he said, "Man, you need to pick Louisville." I said, "Dude, Louisville ain't got nothing."
I switched to them. And
I should have picked them up, man. No.
Yeah, I switched to them last minute and it helped out. All right, then you got number 9 BYU. They're coming in as road favorites against Utah this week. BYU's been rolling. Yeah, give me BYU to cover the 5.
5 against.
Utah. They are picked to win by 5 or more. BYU
Uh,
is.
I'm gonna go BYU. I'm gonna go BYU for sure. Yeah.
Not too, hard of a pick on that one. I feel like
No.
now we get a little interesting. Your number 21 Colorado Buffaloes coming in as 3-point road favorites against Texas Tech down in Lubbock. Kick us off here, Torres. Take me through it.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm actually surprised that they are favorites on the road.
I'm not at all. I'm
Oh,
not at all. They're riding that hype train, baby. They're riding that hype train.
hype train, and you know what Vegas does with hype train. They give them all the advantages, and they know which ones that they're gonna make them fail on. Them being 3.5 against a team like Texas Tech on
Just
the road.
three, just three, not 3.5, just 3.
Oh, just 3. Okay. At night, is that game at night?
I mean, yeah, I believe so. Those ones are typically those West Coast games. No, it's at 4 o'clock Eastern. Wow,
Mm. So
wow.
oh, we're up watching that game because everybody knows how big of a game that really is. We just saw Texas Tech knock off a top-ranked Iowa State team. Now they got to come back and play another ranked team at home. Think about it in this way. This is big for a team like Texas Tech because they're still in the running for a Big 12 championship themselves. If they win out, they have a great shot of being in the Big 12 championship. Now you just beat 2 ranked teams on the opportunity of having a chance to beat the undefeated BYU. So that this is a great storyline for a team like Texas Tech.
It is.
But there's a guy named Deion. Play my theme music. Hey, I like Deion Sanders. I like Shadur. I'm not the biggest fan of Shiloh. Shiloh, he got to do better on his tackling. But Travis Hunter, those boys, Lacey,
Travis Hunter's awesome.
give them to me, man. I think they win this game, and I think they win this game. I know they're 3. I think they win by 10.
Ooh, very, very confident. Okay, all right. Not too shabby. All right, so you got them to cover that. I'm going to go, and I really would, if it was at night, it would make this much, much better. This isn't me picking, I feel like Texas Tech shows up for these games. I can't remember who it was they knocked off last year, but then their coach had that famous thing after the game where he was like, the road runs through Lubbock. He said that whole deal. Like, I can't remember who it was. It was a big game, though. Shoot, I think it may have been Oregon. I don't know. They knocked off a big team last year that they weren't supposed to technically beat. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but they show up for games like this. Upset win. Let me see here. Upset win 2023. Let's see what comes up.
Yeah, I would like to. Yeah, I'm trying to remember that myself.
Nah, they knocked off. Let's see. Upset the Iowa State last year, or no, that was just this last week. No, that's what that's bringing up.
Yeah.
Let's see. I want to see about last year, 2023 season.
Because
I know they had a big upset last year.
Because Texas Tech was in the Big 12, so they still in the Big 12. Yeah, they was in the Big 12.
Yeah, schedule 2023. Let's see if I can pull it up from that.
Was a team like Oklahoma or somebody?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. They beat TCU. They beat Kansas last year. They did technically beat Iowa State. And I can't even figure this crap out. The way this thing is running. Good Lord. I know they beat somebody, though. Good Lord. It was like a big old to-do when they did it. And they were posting all over social media, regarding it. It ain't coming up for me. I can't figure this out at the moment. But it was a big win. I thought they show up for them. If this was a night game, I'd feel much, much better. But let's see here. Actually, I think I may have found something with it. Kansas. They beat Kansas. I don't know if that might have been a big win last year because Kansas was pretty good, if you remember.
Last year, yes.
Yeah, that might have been it. Technically, they lost to Oregon. That's who they lost. They lost 30-38, so they made it close. Yeah, I think it may have been Kansas. So, not as big of a win. I still think they show up for it.
Mhm.
coming off of a big win. I don't know. No, I can't do it. I'm going to go Colorado. Colorado minus 3. I was trying to talk myself into it somehow. I can't do it now, especially with it being a day game.
Yeah.
Nah. All right. I am going to go with a underdog in this one though. South Carolina is still unranked even after the big upset win against Texas A&M this last week. The big field storming. I know Kobe loved it. He was texting in the group chat about it. He loves him some Shane Beamer. They went against Texas A&M, pulled off the win. It was at home. This week they are 3-point favorites traveling to Nashville to play number 24 in the nation, Vanderbilt. This is where I'm going to go against the grain. South Carolina just came off of a big emotional win. They came off of a huge emotional win against Texas A&M. I think it took a lot of energy, a lot of effort to get that win done. Obviously, all the fans stormed the field, everything like that. And they're running up against Vanderbilt, who's still been rolling. They beat Auburn at, I think it was at Auburn. They beat Auburn at Auburn for the first time in program history this last weekend. This is the first season like they're doing anything like this, and I think they're going to continue to ride that wave. Playing at home, South Carolina, I feel like the win's going to be taken out of their sails. They're going to. I feel like they're not going to attack this week of practice the way they're supposed to. Give me Vanderbilt at home with the 3 points. I think that's an easy pick for me. I'm feeling that one, man.
Yeah. I'm going to go. I'm going to go South Carolina, man.
South Carolina's a good team. I'm not trying to trash them. They are a great, good team.
I think they're a really good football team, and I think I'm gonna be honest. The entire SEC is almost a mix-up. There's no real night you can just be like, oh, this team is head and shoulders necessarily. I mean, unless you're talking about like Mississippi State or, at some point, Florida. But a lot of these teams come to play, and I think a team like South Carolina played a tight game with Alabama. This is a big game. Vandy has been hot. I feel like Vandy can continue to stay hot in this. But I'm gonna go South Carolina. That's a big win they just had. They should have beat LSU. They should have beat Alabama. They finally did it against A&M.
Imagine if that would have happened. If they would have beat those two teams, and then going into what that now wow, yeah, that'd have been crazy. Would have been crazy. All right, here's where we go. Hometown team number 2 Georgia traveling to number 16 Ole Miss. Georgia comes in as a 2.5-point favorite. This is a 3:30 game, much to the chagrin of Lane Kiffin. He's pissed off that he didn't get to get a night game when LSU continues to get them. I mean, I don't see where you thought that was going to – that you knew they were going to give LSU Alabama the night game. Yeah. That's a non-negotiable, brother. That's going to happen. That's it. That's always going to happen, especially when these two teams are ranked. And you know what? I'd rather it be that way. Not even coming from a stance of – I'd rather Georgia play in a daytime. I would rather do that. But I'd much rather see Alabama LSU at night than Georgia Ole Miss. I'm just going to tell the truth. Baton Rouge at night, when they call them Baton Rouge, when it's LSU Alabama, when the band's playing neck, shoot, give me that all day, man. That's cinema. Like that is absolute cinema when you see those two teams playing at night. It is just something else. So give me that all day. But Georgia traveling to Ole Miss. This will be around 2:30 their time. I think they're running Central, so it'll be 2:30 their time. Ole Miss this is a must-win game for Ole Miss. Georgia can look at it as a must-win. I don't know if they're going to sleep on it or not. I feel like this year's team has been so desensitized to the thought of losing. Like I feel like they come into every week expecting to win, and I hate that. But if they don't wake up, this could get pretty bad. I don't know. I hope it doesn't. But Lane Kiffin's going to drop some stuff. I still think Georgia's going to pull it out just because it's Georgia. It's only 2.5 points. Give me Georgia to cover the 2.5 points, man.
Yeah, this is one of those games where who you think is going to win the game by that spread.
That's really it. Yep.
I do think Georgia wins the game, and I think that's that type of game where, and I hope I'm right. I am. But it's that type of game where I felt the same way about Texas. So like, man, I don't know, man. And then as you saw how Texas had played Oklahoma, then you saw how we played Mississippi State. Now you saw how we played Florida, and you see how Ole Miss just played Arkansas, and they boat raced those boys. So we can go in there and like, oh man, you can't play like that against Ole Miss. I agree, we can't. But guess what? We played like that against Texas, and we looked like absolute trash, and we found a way to still get the win on the road. I don't think we can continue to do that. Don't get me wrong. but I don't think Beck. I got a feeling, man, Beck is going to turn it around. Hopefully, this game. I don't think it's just going to be like head and shoulders. Like, oh man, he going to go in and throw for 500 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4
Yeah.
touchdowns. But I think he's going to clean up a lot more stuff in this game, and I think he's going to settle down.
He can't get much worse than what he's been. And if he can just do a better performance than what he's been doing, then we're looking great. So
Right.
that's the thing. That's the key to it all. So I think you might be right. I think we see a bounce back from him. He's owned up to his actions, and I think he turns it around.
And
Last one.
Because we got Tennessee next week.
Yes, we need him to bounce back ASAP. Primetime game number 11, Alabama coming into Baton Rouge as 2.5-point favorites. Can you believe it? Against number 14, LSU. I'm going to cut it dry, man. I'm going to cut it simple. This is one of the games before the season. We were making our picks. This is one of the games that I had Alabama losing. I had Alabama, if you correctly, remember, I had Alabama losing 3 games. And it wasn't to Vanderbilt. I had it to LSU. Who else was it? Who else has been on the schedule? I had it to Tennessee. And I think it was, who was the other one, man? Who else have they played, and who are they going to play?
I mean, you did pick them to beat Georgia. You didn't think that?
I did pick them to beat Georgia, so I got that one, correct, even though, obviously it's not what I would have wanted. Let's see here. I had them with one more loss, and I believe it was to, crazy enough, I think I said Auburn. I think I did. I think I said Auburn. That's the only one that makes sense because I did Tennessee, LSU, and I had them with one more loss. And it wasn't Oklahoma because, as you recall, I was not a big Oklahoma believer. But I think I had it at Auburn. Or not. It couldn't have been. No, it couldn't have been them. I don't know. I had them at 3 losses. Maybe it was South Carolina. I don't know. I had them losing 3. Either way, it might come out to be, but I did not have it to Vanderbilt. I think this is the last nail in the coffin of the season. And I feel like I could talk about that now. I think I could say things like that now that Saban's gone. I mean, used to, it was like I couldn't say things like that because it was automatically I'm doomed for saying something like that. How dare you talk about him like that? How dare you say something? That rat poison is going to come back to bite you. I am sound asleep on the Alabama Crimson Tide. I'm kind of done with them. I think the fans are at that point where they're almost done with them. They're certainly done with Milroe. They're certainly done with DeBoer for the most part. I think this is going to be the nail in the coffin for the season. This is going to be what knocks them out of playoff contention. And Brian Kelly knows this is the moment, sees it. Offensively, they can put some stuff together. And surprisingly enough, their defense has gotten better as the season has gone along, even without Harold Perkins. So that's been something that's kind of wild to watch. But Alabama's looked dysfunctional at times. This is a big game. It makes you think, they knew going into Georgia that was going to be a big game, and they came out ready to be prepared. Can they come out similar to Georgia and deliver some heavy knockout blows to begin this thing? So just go ahead and hit them with a flurry of touchdowns. I don't know. At home, this is crazy. That atmosphere is wild. Give me LSU with the 2.5 points.
Yeah, give me LSU as well. My reasoning is for the main purpose of you have to look at the fact that Alabama is desperate, but heck, so is LSU at home. Those fans, out game, everybody, Brian Kelly now. I'm not saying he's on the hot seat. Don't get me wrong, because I think he's been doing okay at LSU, but they have been losing certain games. But LSU, you beat Alabama. You end their season. Do you not know how big of a game that can possibly be? The first ever 12-team playoff that we get. You are at home and you have an opportunity to end their season and not allow them to make the playoffs and extend yours.
I think he does it.
That's the thing. It's so much.
He does it.
I think these boys play. I think they come out hot. This is going to show you how bad. Now, look, I'm going to go to the other side. We're going to see how resilient Alabama really is. Jalen Miller, Kalen DeBoer, all the defense. Like, we're going to really see how resilient Alabama really is, because this is a game that is a must-win. They know at this point every game is a must-win, but this is their my season on the line must-win type of football game, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be tight.
It's gonna be a great game. This should be a very high viewership game. Like this one should have all eyes, man. I'm excited for it. This is going to be a great game. I feel like we're going to see some really good
I'm
football.
glad we're playing first. Going to knock our game on out, so I can tune in for that one.
Yeah, so I can either be happy or pissed, while watching that one. Yeah, it's going to be a good one, man. They got Florida, Vanderbilt, and Oklahoma after that. LSU does. So,
Cupcake.
it's right. Well, potential. All three of those games are games that LSU in the recent history have struggled with. Florida at Florida, Vanderbilt this year, the way Vanderbilt's playing, I think I could see them struggling. And then Oklahoma at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could see them dropping one. They just have always done some stupid stuff like that. I don't know.
They do lose games that they shouldn't lose. I get it.
Exactly. So, I mean, could happen. But can Brian Kelly really seize this moment, take what's ahead of him, and really grasp it, make his way into the college football playoff? Judging by our college football playoff prediction that we did earlier, I think they do. So, yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it here for today. Anything else you got left you want to mention here?
No, sir. No, sir.
All right, Torres, it was a good one. Thank you guys out there that have tuned into the live stream. Thank you for tuning in. If you're listening on podcast, appreciate you guys for doing that. If you want to support us, just go and subscribe, follow us, share our stuff on social media. We do appreciate all that. Thank you guys again for tuning in, and as always, we'll see you next time.
Boom, boom.